Are you, ladies and gentlemen, thirsty? Because if you are, you shouldn't be drinking this shit. You need to be drinking Diet Cock. All right. Let's get into it. Guys, these are some plays that I think are going to make some money this week. I've picked out 3 separate charts that I have drawn up some levels for that I'm personally going to be playing this week, that I'm going to be watching this week. Figured I'd share them with you. Do with this information what you will. And I'm not going to waste any of your time. Let's get straight into it. Well, I guess I did waste some of your time. You watched me drink water for a couple seconds. As a preface, number one thing, monkeypox. The WHO declared monkeypox a public health emergency of international concern. This leaves the option on the table for all of these setups that I have to be invalidated. And what I mean by that is if we get a crazy gap down, or any sort of a gap down from the market as a reaction to the monkeypox news, that is going to affect all the charts that I have set up right now, which means they may be worthless. All right. I want to preface with that because that could be the case with a lot of charts that exist out there. So if you have setups in mind, just keep in mind unforeseeable circumstances can take place and you kind of have to adjust as things go. Nonetheless, if monkeypox doesn't gap things down, these are some nice charts. I think they look good and I want to talk about them. My 3 charts that I've got are Snapchat, Neo, and Meta. There's a reason behind all of these. I think that all of these have good money-making opportunities for both the call and the put side, except for Snapchat. Snapchat, I would not play for puts. Myself personally. So I'm going to go over sort of what I think makes the most sense for Snapchat. And I'm also going to sort of outline what I'd be watching for in terms of risk and reward and what I mean by this. So when we've got guidelines here, it's the same as the previous video, right? There's 2 types of trades that you're looking for in these scenarios. One is channel trading, right? Taking advantage of a pattern of trading. And number 2 is breakout trading. So really the big thing here with Snapchat, Neo, and Meta, frankly, is these are all channel trading plays. You're taking advantage of channel trading back and forth between specific zones in every single one of these that would allow you to make money. Perhaps Neo, you're able to captivate sort of on a breakdown, which would be the same as a breakout if everything plays as planned, but we'll get into that as we sort of go. Snapchat, this would be considered to me a channel trading play. Now, this is a weekly outlook video, meaning you might not have the opportunity on Monday, you might not have it on Tuesday, you might not have it on Wednesday. It could take 3, 4, 5 days for this sort of setup to validate and become attractive. But there's 2 ways in which I would enjoy playing Snapchat. My favorite one would be if I see it come down and test this white line right here. Now, if it was to happen tomorrow, that would mean that Snapchat would drop about another $1. It would go from $9.90 down to about $8.73, which is a significant drop off. I don't know what that is percentage wise, but thankfully TradingView will do that for me. If we were to take it all the way down, you are dropping another 13%. So if Snapchat's down 13% tomorrow, it would hit sort of that bounce zone that I think is going to happen. Why do I like this dotted or dashed falling support line? Because every time that it's tapped this, it has bounced, right? So if you're looking right here and you're looking at sort of this line, it's got to bounce off that line. If you look here, same exact thing. Right now, it's on a trajectory to come down, test this line. In which case, that would be the 3rd time that we have seen a test of this falling support line. I believe if it touches that support line, you will get a push up. But there's also the chance and the opportunity that it will not touch that white support line. Because I thought about this, right? It's already down 39%, and there's a reason that I don't like the sort of opportunity to play puts on this, and it's because the risk reward doesn't really make much sense to me. Why? Well, risk reward is all about how much you're willing to risk versus how much you can make. And if I'm playing puts, and I personally think that Snapchat is close to sort of a bounce territory. I think it's close to needing to get some relief. I think it's close to shorts perhaps covering some positions. It doesn't really make sense for me to try and captivate on another 5% move down, 10% move down versus what could be a 10, 20, 30% move up, right? I don't want to catch the back end of a move. I want to catch the start of a move, even if I'm a little bit early, right? So R&R wise, I don't really like the put side of this, which means I think that it's going to reverse even if it doesn't touch this white line. Now, what I have here are candlestick patterns. These are typical, and I just got this off the internet, so you can find the same thing, but if you want to pause the video and screenshot it, you can certainly do that. These are reversal candlestick patterns, right? Take a look at them. This would also be an opportunity for you to take advantage of Snapchat if it shows one of these things, right? Evening doji star, bullish harami, bearish engulfing, blah, blah, blah. You can go on and on, the whole list, whatever. But if I see that on a 1 hour time frame, if I see 1 hour time frame, reversal candlestick pattern, something like, for instance, if this is a red candle, R for red, we get a hangman, and then you get a green candle, right? I would want to be a buyer somewhere in this territory between the doji and the green candle, right? It's the same sort of thought process behind the picture I just showed you, right? You're trying to take advantage of sort of the reversal and not the back end of the move. Regardless, I like Snapchat for calls, don't like it for puts. I think that's where the best risk reward is for that play. You do as you see fit. This is probably the one that would scare people the most, to be frank. It is down a lot. It could go down more, specifically because of monkeypox. You know, if stocks gap down, shorts are just going to see this as a really solid opportunity to continue to hold their positions, which, by the way, I don't really think they've covered. If you look at this on the 15-minute time frame, no buying pressure whatsoever, just pure sell-off. And into the end of the day, sellers lost some strength. I mean, the volume was fading as it came down, typically a good sign that sellers are losing some of the momentum that they previously had. Neo I like for both calls and for puts. Both have beautiful opportunity. The first one that I'm going to show you is for a put. So if you look at this yellow circle right here, what you're going to see is that it is broken down from this bull flag. When you have a bull flag, typically you expect it to push to the upside. It doesn't always do that, right? But I'd say 8 or 9 times out of 10, that's typically what happens. This time it has broken down from the bull flag, which leaves 2 opportunities, right? Number one, what could happen on the put side is it could come back up and retest this falling green trend line with touch points on 29 June, 5 July, 6 July, 12 July, 15 July, 19 July. It could come up, retest, and push down. I would want to be long on a put on that retest and rejection off of the previously respected bull flag channel, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The flip side of it is you can also be a buyer for calls, right? So if this happens and instead when it comes up to retest, it breaks, I want it to do the exact same thing, retest and push back up. Here, you would want to be a call buyer. That's personally what I'm looking for. I won't take the trade unless there is a retest. I like the retest. I like to see patterns be validated. I like the extra confirmation. Sometimes I miss opportunities because of it, but that's okay. That's personally what I enjoy, and that's personally what I found works the best. You got to do what's best for you. Regardless, if you're a call buyer, I'd be targeting the top of this green trend line right here. If you're a put buyer, I'm watching fib levels. 1164 as a bottom, pretty solid. As the top, 2440. And then you're just watching all these lines. The 382 is 1952. I think if it breaks down, I'd probably be watching about $18.02 as sort of a level to be pretty watchful for to make some money, right? In the same way, let me come back to Snapchat as I realize I didn't go over sort of what you could be looking for moving forward. On Snapchat, a little bit of a different situation. I would probably just be watching the overall sort of demand zone, supply zones that presently exist. You can see that there is a zone right here, right? That would be considered probably supply. So if it bounces up off 990 to, let's just say 1226, you could see some rejection there, right? That's just a sort of starting point. Drop some supply and demand zones. Watch for the 1 hour reversal candlestick patterns. If you're playing it on a shorter time frame, it's the same concept, but with 5-minute candles, 3-minute candles, 1 minute 15, whatever you're using, right? So that's Neo, right? I'm watching that for a call scenario. For a put scenario, it's just the fib levels. Next one, Meta. Meta is probably my favorite chart. Meta to me is on this falling white support line right now. And if you look at the RSI, this is what I like the most. I like pattern recognition. I like to be able to look at a pattern and say, yep, this is something that is repeated for quite some time. You can see RSI when it taps down here at about 30, likes to reverse back up here to about 70. Does that mean it's going to happen? No, right? But when you back that up with a couple different key things, what you find is a divergence, right? So here you see prices going up, while RSI stays the same. That's a divergence, which means it could be a leading indicator as to price action that could come in the future. So just keep this on your radar. Myself personally, I have a bias towards thinking this will go up, right? But it might not. Maybe it bounces up off this yellow white line. That's personally what I'm watching for, in which I'd be targeting this falling dashed line, which has price points that touch at 04 February, 10 February, 28 April, 16 May, 3 June, 9 June, and then 21 July. I think it would come up and retest here. Same concept as before. Same with Neo. Same with, just Neo, I suppose. I want to see it bounce up off this trend line. You get a bounce up off this trend line, I'm going to be a call buyer. I'm going to be a call buyer, and I'm going to be looking for it to tap the top of this falling trend line right here. Flip side. This is why I like Meta a lot. Meta has set up beautifully because it can have the exact same move to the downside, right? Albeit, I want the confirmation when it breaks. If it breaks down from the falling support line, comes back up and retests, and then rejects, put buyer. Bam. Nothing else to it. That's it. I'd be targeting falling support. This is about what it falls to. If it was to happen within the same week, you'd probably be looking about $148. There is also demand, I'd say, at about 160, 159. Target right about there. Change the color to green. And bada bing, bada boom. Those are the plays for the week. I'm going to keep it short, simple, sweet, to the point. That's all I got. These are what I'm going to be watching for this week. You do what's best for you. I hope you all have a good one. Appreciate you. Take it easy as always. Much love, 8 taps. Peace.